Hey, what's up guys? You're here with Danny at TDFX. Right here we're going to be breaking down and going into this trade that I took on the 21st of January, week 4 of 2025 that is. Pretty simple, like I do say, it's ICT concepts basically simplified into a way that I like to trade and that I kind of works for me. So basically I just start by going on the daily right here. I basically deemed this trade, it's 21st of January, so this is the previous day's candle for the daily. And it was it's been, obviously, as you know, anyone that's seen, it's been very bearish for EU for a long time. And even any bullish runs did eventually turn back into bearish movement and carry on back down, which still might be the case. But for this, in terms of this trade, obviously we could see we had lower high and a new low here. This high was never broken by these here. It carried on going down. Another lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Continued going down, and I would have considered this still bearish, but it was mainly the fact that we had this very strong bullish daily candle. That even though it didn't break this high here, the fact that it closed so strongly above the bodies basically switched my bias to bullish for the moment. There was there could always be the chance that price would stop here and turn back around and just immediately go all the way back down and resume the bearish trend. But because of this candle, I basically just decided to go with a bullish bias. Obviously you can never be 100% right. You've just got to kind of pick away, get your risk management in place, and then see what happens. So starting the new day after seeing this candle, I basically take all my trades based on 15-minute ideas, also based on the daily bias that I have deemed. So starting this new day, I just start on the 15-minute and I basically look for the break of like a 15-minute OB, wait for that OB to be traded into. Then I would drop down to the 1, 2 or 3-minute and then see if I can get another OB situation taking place. So yeah, I would basically, obviously this is after the fact. I'm just going to show you basically what my mindset was as I was going into this, and obviously I was entering the trade in live time. So obviously I wait for Asian session to be over usually, and then I'm looking for basically this kind of scenario where price would go, say, above this level. I don't know what different ways you all kind of consider trades, but when I see this and then this whole red candle movement here, I would consider this a whole 15-minute OB, as ICT would usually proclaim it. Obviously this is not where I entered, but I'm just checking to see if this would be something that I would normally go for. Looking at the 1 minute, there was no situation that would get me into a buy right there. Anyway, like I said, I have bullish bias, so going into what I actually thought. So let's see. So going here in London session, if I was to look for a buy initially when we got to this point, I would be looking for a break and close above these bodies here, and then a retest into it, and then I could go down to the 1 minute. But because that didn't happen yet, same here. Again, this from here, I would be looking to basically enter from there once this break gets broken above and traded back into, but that didn't happen here. So same again, I would wait for that one to get broken. Semi got broke here, but I wasn't, the break is not even a little bit further, I would have considered it, but the fact that it's just this, it gives me a bit of a lack of confidence. Let's see, what kind of movement did we get when that traded back into it? Yeah, it was kind of wishy-washy, but that is not necessarily what I was looking for. But once again, I'd be looking for the same break and a close above this. Didn't get it. Next area, looking for a break and a close above this. Okay, almost thought I was going to get it there, but also didn't again. So now we've got this area, that area. Okay, you see how this is not quite significant as this, but now that we've got this, I was basically looking for it to trade down here on the 1 minute and then get some kind of price action that I would like to see. So this is after the 15-minute closed above. It traded into right here. And now what I'm looking for basically is this level to be broken above, and then see if I can get some bullish movement. So right here it breaks above it. It's not quite significant as what I wanted it to be, and then there, that's significant enough. So basically my thoughts were to enter right here with my stop. It looks like it's a lot of movement, but if you look, literally this trade is only what, like 3.7 pips right here. 3.7 pips, and my TP was gonna be set around, was it there? Dang, maybe even there. But I'll get into how I actually set my TPs at some point. So how did I have it down here? I literally can't even remember, to be honest. Either way, the trade wouldn't have worked out, because what happened is, so after this right here, the trade entered. That would have entered me right there onto this 1 minute OB. I know there's different levels of entries that people like to do, like maybe wait for a fair value gap as well. But when I see this, I'm just looking to enter once price trades back to this after getting like a somewhat significant move past it. Okay, so as you can see, price kind of just reversed. It's not quite took me out just yet. There, right there, price took me out. But because obviously we have, if we're going to be doing, if anyone wants to be doing this properly, you need to make sure you have very good risk management. That was a very small loss right there, and it took me out. But it's okay, because we all have very good risk management, and didn't lose much at all. So price is down here. The thing is, right, even though it's down here, even if price somewhat came down to here, because my bullish bias, if price started to trade back up and I saw a similar kind of 1 minute setup near the area I was initially supposed to enter, or near this 15-minute OB, or even a bit lower, I would still get in there. So continuing, what happened is price traded around, like even here, I didn't do it, but even here, I might have considered it, because it was here, and the fact that we got this strong break above that, trade into, you could have even entered there, stop loss below there, literally 5.5 pips, and then ride that up. But what I actually got in was, I was looking for this, so I saw another 1 minute OB form here. Didn't quite, it's not that significant. I remember I probably could have done that, maybe got in at here, but I didn't actually enter at this point. Where I entered, another chance for entry there, where I actually entered was here. When price traded back here, this is where I was expecting to get in. I got in a little bit late, because I wasn't able to set a buy limit at the time I wanted it. But around this, I got in around this area as price started to move back up. As it started to, I got in, I would say, I can't remember exactly, but around that point. With my stop loss, I believe, yeah, was somewhere down here anyway. And then I put my TP. My TP was, I remember, you see this high here. My stop loss might have been even lower, to be honest, I can't remember. But yeah, I got in around that area. TP was around this, I think it was around this high right here. It's 4.98, but I'm pretty sure for me it was actually around 4.6, maybe 4.4 risk to reward ratio. Ideally, I always want to get minimum 1 to 3, but really I would like to get 3.5 plus. 1 to 3 is really good, but obviously I would like to get more. So this trade right here, entered here, and then kind of just saw how price played out. So moving around at this level, at this point here, when price gets to a significant, semi-significant way away from my entry, with all these little lows being formed here, I would protect my stop loss at this time. Even if it comes down, takes me out, and then reverses, obviously we want to have really good risk management, and don't want price to move and then risk price reversing on us and losing what we already gained. So I always want to at least put it at break even. So I move my stop at this point, and then price kind of just continued to to rally through New York session, and then boom, hit my TP right here for about 4.4 risk to reward ratio. But yeah, that was a pretty decent trade. Let's see how it looks on the 15-minute. Yeah, it didn't actually close back down here. Even if it did, if the 15-minute candle closed down here, I would have still looked to get an entry if it came back to around this area, just from my bullish bias, because I've noticed it's not always the prettiest form setup. If you're always looking for the prettiest one, you might hardly ever get a trade. And I know the market likes to trick people out and do all kinds of things, so you still want to be aware of that kind of thing. But yeah, the trade then did play out for, let's see how much further it went up. Look at that, look at the state of that, man. Price went, I got out at like a 4.4 risk to reward ratio, right? This high would have been 6. Where we got up 8. Mate, look at the state of it, bro. Look at that, man. 10.96, bro. This just, you know what, price just absolutely went off, bro. See, the thing is, I never actually stay in for this long, because how often are you gonna get a 14 risk to reward ratio? If you try and sometimes keep hold of the trade for these big wins, price might just reverse on you and you'll lose all that because of greed, unless obviously you do trailing stops. But I necessarily don't necessarily want to. If I was to ride the wave, I would say I would do this. If the stop loss was small enough, make 2 trades and then close the first one at this 4.4 that I did, and then maybe just literally see how long the second trade would go for, and then see how much you can milk it for. But yeah, that's basically how that trade played out for me, and that's how it went. Sweet.